Hey guys, Ultra Maximus back with another comic book review. This time we're going to take a look at a couple books. The first one is The Star Wars, number 5? Yeah, number 5. So this is the 5th installment of the George Lucas rough draft screenplay turned into a comic book. Here's the cover art, looking pretty cool. Very poster-like. Here we have Anakin and the princess falling in love. And then we got some really cool pictures of Star Destroyers and the Death Star in the background, and Stormtroopers and General Skywalker. Kind of cool stuff. So yeah, this is where they're escaping the spaceport with Han Solo, who looks like Swamp Thing, and basically the Sith Lord, not Darth Vader, but the other guy, he detects him, they go after him, they try to capture him, and then the the group, and this is a really cool shot, basically that's your shot out of the Millennium Falcon, where they were playing chess with Chewbacca, but instead of the Millennium Falcon, it's actually the Tantive 4, which we see at the beginning of Star Wars. That's captures being attacked by the Star Destroyer, Darth Vader, and Princess Leia, and all that kind of stuff. So that was kind of interesting. But yeah, it's kind of weird because the internals of the ship straight out are the Millennium Falcon, not what we see on Captain Antilles' vessel, and we see a bunk bed, which is kind of interesting. And yeah, so they start getting attacked. They're even got the guns. TIE fighters are showing up here at the end, which is kind of cool. And then next is, what does it say? Wookiee Madness. So we get to see what the Wookiees are like in the next episode. The one thing that's kind of interesting about this, the R2-D2 unit, very similar to Chopper from Star Wars Rebels, that is coming out on Disney XD here in 2014. And if you watch the intro to Chopper, they kind of harken back to the original artwork for Star Wars, which is kind of interesting. Now, a drawback to this book, this is where you can really see where the rough draft of the script is coming into play, because there's a lot of stuff in regards to the love affair between Anakin and the princess that are just very, very forced, and you can just tell the script wasn't finished yet, and they didn't do much as far as salvage for that. So that was kind of a disappointment. I've loved everything else up to that point in the story. Hopefully it picks up a little bit, because, well, quite frankly, the love affair of Padme and Anakin in the original trilogy was pretty much crap. You could have taken that out and it'd been an even better film. So there is that. I'm not sure. This is number 5. I'm not sure if this is a 6-issue series. It might be. I guess we'll see. I'm not sure. If you know how many issues, leave a message. I'd really like to know. It can't be that much longer, because Dark Horse no longer has the rights to Star Wars, so they're wrapping everything up this year, because it's going to go back to Marvel, because, well, Disney owns Star Wars now. The other book I picked up was Rover Red Charlie number 3. This is a wraparound cover, which is kind of interesting. This is a feeder that they find. So this issue shows our little pooches have escaped New York City, and they've got to be somewhere in New Jersey. And they found a farm and chickens, and they start learning to eat chickens and chicken eggs and fending for themselves. And yeah, it's kind of interesting. They run into looks like a Cocker Spaniel named Bingo on a farm. B-I-N-G-O was his name, which is kind of interesting. The chickens are pretty funny. And then we get a bad guy. this great big ugly brute of a dog that I don't know if that's supposed to be some kind of mastiff or bulldog. It's definitely a male. It's got a human chained to it, a feeder, and well, yeah, it's kind of keeping the feeder as a pet or something, and the dogs do not like this at all. And this is graphic, so children do not look. Just kind of a forewarning, there is some really grossness that goes on, and yeah, just, I don't know. That was just kind of weird, kind of taking a weird turn. And Bingo kind of tells him, hey, I hear that there are other feeders in the bigger splash, and they're like, what's the bigger splash? It's bigger than the big splash, and it's far, 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 far away, and blah, blah, blah. So basically they're talking about there might be surviving humans out in California, and the dogs have to decide if they're going to go, and of course the Border Collie, he wants to go find the humans because he doesn't like the world the way it is. Feeders are supposed to feed dogs. They're supposed to take care of dogs. Dogs aren't supposed to think for themselves. They're supposed to be dogs, and he wants things to go back the old way. So, much like the zombie apocalypse stories, we get this myth inside the story of there's an oasis so far away, so they have to travel to go find it. So, apparently we're going to go on this adventure, and we're going to go through the country, and we're going to see what goes on across the country and the way this has affected other places. And, of course, I'm sure when we get to this oasis, it's not going to turn out the way they thought it was going to, because it never does. And now they've made a permanent bad guy, I think, that's going to be chasing them. So, kind of interesting. The story is really, really developing. If you have not read this series, definitely pick it up. I highly enjoy it. Again, I'm not sure. Let's see. This is number 3. Does it tell us how many issues? It does not. I'm going to presume this is probably a 6-issue story, so this is about halfway through. Definitely a great read. This is a much better book than book 2. I thought kind of an interesting take on it, some going back to some kind of graphic type stuff. And then the Star Wars, number 5. Continuing the series there, so we'll see where it goes. So there they are, the comic book reviews for the week, well, one of them. Thanks for watching, guys, and look for more videos in the future.